Take a moment now to think about everyone you love and imagine they won't be here tomorrow. How would this change the way you approach those relationships? If today was the last opportunity you have to see everyone that you know and love, what would you say and how would you treat them? Hi guys, I'm Matt Harris, and on this channel we explore the simple strategies, tools and tactics to help us optimize our daily routines for health, happiness and success. Dealing with people, whether it's friends, family, partners, colleagues or acquaintances, all comes down to communication. I'm not the greatest communicator, I'm a quiet introvert, but as I've gotten older and gained more experience, I've realized that identifying and investing in the right relationship contributes massively to your happiness and fulfillment, as well as providing the support that you need throughout your life. There are 5 important lessons that I've learned about communication, which have helped me build and rebuild the relationships in my life. Treating your friends and family like they're dying. It's not who you know, but how you treat them. Don't be so sensitive. Stop using these words, the big secret to communication. In this video, I'm going to be taking a deeper dive into all 5 points, and hopefully by the end of it, you would have added some new tools to your armory in order to communicate better. You ready? Let's jump in. Treating your friends and family like they're dying. Because they are. We're all dying every day. I gained real clarity around this in December 2020, a month dedicated to memento mori in the Daily Stoic Journal. I'd never really spent any time contemplating death, my own or my friends and family. 31 days of reading about the shortness of life and how death can come at any moment massively changed my thinking. It made me appreciate what it means to be alive right now. I'm grateful for the people in my life and the experiences I've shared with them, because I know that at any moment we can leave life in the blink of an eye. We're often told to live each day as if it were our last. Doing this helps from time to time because it allows you to focus on all the good stuff and not worry about the rest. Unfortunately, living this way all the time is unsustainable. You end up burning out from having too much fun all the fucking time. It's also quite likely that you will leave a trail of destruction in your wake from all the fun you're having, or at the very least, delaying some important life responsibilities. Taking this approach to life is also quite selfish because all the focus is on you. However, by living like everyone else's day is their last, you're on to a winner. Take a moment now to think about everyone you love and imagine they're not here tomorrow. How would this change the way you view and approach those relationships? When people die, you think about the last interaction you had with them and all of the things you never got to say. If today was the last opportunity to see everyone you know and love, what will you say and how will you treat them? By the way, it's okay to piss people off from time to time. People are sensitive, which is covered later on in this video. But if you're pissing people off all the time, you need to check yourself and stop being a dick. It's not who you know, it's how you treat them. Happiness doesn't come from having lots of relationships. It comes from nurturing and cultivating the right relationships. A small number of our relationships will account for a large proportion of our emotional value, and these relationships require work. Anthropologists claim that there is a limited number of potent relationships that we can establish during our lifetime. The village theory claims that we have 2 important childhood friends, 2 important adult friends, and 2 important advisors who we rely on. It's claimed that our number of relationships is low regardless of location, sophistication, or culture. The village theory is based on an African village where these relationships happen within a few hundred meters and are developed over a short period of time. We currently live in a global village where our relationships are spread all over the world and extend the duration of our lifetime. However, our capacity for building relationships is still limited. Having too many close friends too early can exhaust your capacity for creating deeper relationships as you get older. That's why it's important to value the true relationships you have with friends and family, as they provide meaning and happiness in our lives. We need to cultivate and invest in those relationships because they can have a significant impact on how successful and happy we'll be. Unfortunately, most of us, me included, don't spend enough time with our best friends and family. I spent the last 12 months neglecting my friends and family because I was going through a tough time. What we make time for reflects the value that we place in those things, and I was making very little time for my relationships. Recently, however, I've started to figure out how to unneglect my friends and family. Sticking my head in the sand, feeling guilty, and not facing the reality has been the easy way out. Unfortunately, that's how relationships fizzle out. To solve this problem, all I need to do is get in touch with the people that I value and let them know that I'm thinking about them. How do you do this? Pretty simple. Pick up the phone, call a friend or family member and ask them what's going on. Find out how they're doing and set a date for a follow-up. That's it. These 3 steps will save a sinking relationship, and they're steps that I'm slowly starting to take myself. Treat your friends and family well and they will treat you well. Treat them like they're dying and they won't be here tomorrow. Don't be so sensitive. Key to dealing with people is to remember that what they think isn't important. Unless people tell you what they think, how do you know what they're thinking? Your assessment of what people think are more often wrong than they are right, which makes you suitably unqualified to offer advice to yourself about what other people are thinking. So don't focus on on what you can't control. The only thing you can be 100% sure about is what you're thinking and what you're talking about. This is definitely where I've been falling down. For a long time, I didn't give a fuck about what people thought about me. When I was going through a hard time, I started to believe the narrative that because my last business failed, people, especially friends and family, would see me as a failure. The more I played this narrative out of my head, the more sensitive and withdrawn I became. The reality was that no one really cared. They have their own shit to deal with. What I soon realized is that you shouldn't be so sensitive, especially when you're dealing with other people, until you know what they're thinking. The only way you can find out what people are thinking is by asking them, and they should tell you straight. One thing to bear in mind with this approach is that people won't always tell the truth. We are driven by an intrinsic awareness of self-preservation, so we will say things to adapt to certain situations. We lie to be kind and to protect ourselves. Don't always expect the truth, otherwise you'll be disappointed. The opposite is also true for you. When you talk to other people, you should shoot straight and tell them what you mean. I'm as guilty as anyone when it comes to telling little white lies from time to time, because I don't want to offend people. The better approach is to say what you mean all the time by practicing radical honesty. My partner is amazing at this. She just speaks her mind all the time. As a consequence, her interaction with people is easier. There's no ambiguity, she's brutally honest, regardless of how what she says might be received. I have a lot to learn from her. Stop using these words. Words are important. The words we use in here influence the way we act, can also spur us into action or inaction. The words you use have the same effect. To improve your communication, I found that getting rid of the following words helps massively. Should. When you say I should, you probably won't. Should is weak. Say I will. Will is strong. Shouldn't. Saying shouldn't encourages stagnation and reinforces the status quo. Next time you're faced with using a shouldn't, ask yourself, why shouldn't I? And what's the worst case scenario if I do? The worst case might be better than the current case. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. What if? What if can be useful if it's carefully applied. Most of the time, saying what if is a precursor to not doing something. What if is a big excuse to stop using it. Stop saying sorry. Just stop it. Your apology is unnecessary. There's no need spending your day saying sorry all the time. It says you're not very confident. Ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen if I don't apologize? Unless you fucked up, don't apologize. If you have fucked up, apologize once, mean it, and move on. Just is another way of saying sorry. It takes away the validity of what you're doing, so just don't use it. The secret to communication. We can all talk. The big secret to communication is listening. When you communicate with friends and family, or anyone for that fact, practice active listening. Hear what people are saying and practice answering thoughtfully. Make a conscious effort to hear not just the words that people are saying, but more importantly, the complete message that they're trying to convey. To become an active listener, you need to do 5 things. Pay attention, show that you're listening, provide feedback, defer judgment, and respond appropriately. The better your communication, the deeper your connection. The key to listening well is ignoring your phone. When you spend quality time with friends and family, turn the phone off, put it on airplane mode, or just ignore it. This works wonders if you really want to be engaged in a conversation without distraction. It allows you to take a big step forward to building a deeper relationship. I put these lessons into practice in June when I had one of my best mates over from Australia. It was the first time I'd seen him in 6 years, and we had 24 hours together to catch up. I wanted to be fully engaged in our catch up, so I listened, I asked open questions, I left space for silence, and more importantly, I left my phone alone the whole time I was with him. Before leaving, he told me that he'd had a really great day and massively valued us reconnecting. Priceless. These are 5 simple tools to help you master the art of communication. But how do you use them to get stuff done and make progress towards the goals that you want to achieve? The third step of me getting a grip of my life was relearning how to get shit done. There's a very simple 3-step system that's helped me get shit done, which I explain in this video right here, so make sure you check that out. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you in the next video.